The name Always Best Care has become the most trusted and reliable for in-home senior services. Our caregivers specialize in bringing families and friends closer together and putting smiles in the faces of each and every one of our clients by creating a fun and loving atmosphere. For an in-home healthcare provider that is built on genuine compassion and quality care, look no further than Always Best Care. Hi, I'm Patty Jackson. When I needed help with providing my mother physical and emotional comfort in her time of need, Always Best Care was a godsend. And you can rest assured that they will always be there whenever you call because they care.
They're tried and true. You can trust that they will always take good care of you. Always Best Care.
To schedule an appointment, visit abcphillybristol.com or call 267-909-9248 today.
Did you know he'll help you understand? Did you know always a right-hand man? Did you know he's gonna make it clear? Did you know? Come on, listen here. Did you know?
Hello, my name is Brian Green, and welcome to the Did You Know Show. Today we are down in Center City, Philadelphia. Well, I guess not Center City, maybe Old City, Philadelphia, at the Veterans Multi-Service Center. And sitting here with me today, I have Tim Williams, who is a retired Army Special Forces colonel with over 30 years of active duty service. Tim is a combat wounded veteran, having earned the Combat Infantry's badge with the Star Service in Desert Storms and Shield, Somalia, and multiple tours in Iraq. Wow. He has extensive service throughout Europe, the Middle East, North Africa, and the Central Asia states. He holds a master's degree from Louisiana State University, the University of Canberra in Australia, and the United States Army War College. He is a member of the Arkansas Military Veterans Hall of Fame and the Arkansas State University Hall of Heroes. My absolute pleasure to be sitting here with Tim Williams, who is also the Executive Director of the Veterans Multi-Center. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much, Brian. I'm pleased to be here.
So, thank you for coming on the Did You Know TV show. You were a guest on my radio show, which is, the Word Show, and we talked about, your military career. But, from what I just read in your bio, tell us about your military career. Let's hear from you.
Well, I'll tell you, I became interested in the Army after watching, on a round TV, black and white TV set, the news from Vietnam. Mm-hmm. And I played with Army men all my life, and I joined the Army right out of high school when I was 17 years old. I turned 18 in basic training. Did a couple of years there, got out, went to Arkansas State, got my bachelor's degree, and came back in as a second lieutenant.
Right on.
Yeah, and I got a son right now that's a second lieutenant in the Army. He's graduating the infantry officer basic course next Tuesday. We're going down there for Thanksgiving week.
So tell us his name.
His name is Jack. He goes by Jack.
Jack Williams is down there, and you're going to visit him where, in Texas?
At Fort Benning, Georgia. Home of the infantry.
Okay, home of the infantry. Okay, so you follow Dad's footsteps.
Yeah, pretty much, and both his uncles too. He's got two uncles that are infantry colonels. So we and his grandfather did 2 tours in Vietnam. So we're military, pretty much an Army family. So.
An Army family. Yeah. So I know where you sit with the Army versus Navy game.
Yeah, I've been to. The last 2 years have been really good. Okay. They really have. And this year is the first year in probably a quarter century that the Army has been favored in the game. So we're pretty proud of the Army. I've been to the last 4 Army-Navy games. Jack went to the military academy. So.
Okay. So how did you get involved with the Veterans Multi-Center, the VMC?
Well, that's sort of a long story. I'll try to keep it short. I was transitioning out of the military. I went to the Transition Assistance Program, and they fed us a lot of information, but I didn't listen to a lot of it. I didn't hear a lot of it, but I did get one piece, and they told me to go to the local county Veterans Affairs office and talk to them. So I went to the Burlington County Veterans Affairs office, and the guy was talking to me, and he was telling me a few things about seeking work and employment, and another guy leaned over and handed me a sheet of paper, and it was a job announcement for this job. But I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, non-profit, man. I've been in the military. I don't don't think I want to do this. Well, I put it in my bag and I took it home, and I'm sitting at home and I'm trying to type my resume up, and I'm going, good Lord, what am I going to do, man? I mean, here I've been in the Army for 30 years. What am I going to do
What's
with
my
my
next
life?
season?
And I'm just trying to get a resume together. It was killing me. And my wife comes home. She's the community support coordinator at the Joint Base McGuire-Dix Lakehurst. She comes home from work and she asks me, how's everything going? I said, oh, this is terrible, man. I'm having a hard time with this resume. And she goes, look, I got this today. Handed me a sheet of paper, same job announcement. I said, even I was smart enough to say, okay, I need to do something about this.
Okay. And so what is the Veteran Multi-Center's mission?
The mission is to serve those who serve. We're comprehensive veteran services. We do everything from meals to homeless veterans to housing. We have a thrift shop. We have a women's veteran center. We have veteran service officers that handle the interface, help veterans do the interface between the veteran and Veterans Affairs pension and compensation branch. We serve meals for homeless veterans. We have transitional housing out at Coatesville, 95 beds of transitional housing. So we try to say that if a veteran comes to the Veterans Multi-Service Center, that they are better off for having come here, that we will match a resource with a need.
Wow. So we're down here in Philadelphia at the Veterans Multi-Center. It's at 213-217 North 4th Street, in Philadelphia. That's why I said we're down in Old City. And you guys are right at the bottom of the Ben Franklin Bridge.
Yep.
The Ben Franklin Bridge connects Philadelphia to South New Jersey. And so you guys, as a landmark, so if you're out there watching and listening, if you're a veteran and you want to connect with the VMC, how do they go about it?
Well, you can come in, at the foot of the Ben Franklin, as you said, or you can call us at 215-923-2600.
Okay.
215-923-2600. Or you can visit our website at vmcenter.org. Victor Mike CENTER.org.
And it's at the bottom of your screen, so if we said it too fast, a lot of times my radio listeners and my TV audience tells me, Brian, slow it down sometimes.
Well, they probably don't understand my accent. So.
It's fine. And so if you're interested in doing that, so then what do they bring when they come? I mean, I guess what's the direction? If I'm a veteran and I don't have access to the website and I could just get here, what do I need to know?
If you have your DD-214, that's your document that you're issued when you get out of the service, bring that with you. But if you don't have it, we can get that for you. So if they just show up, they don't necessarily need to bring anything. We've served veterans that didn't have any ID, did not have their DD-214s. We can help them get ID. We can help. Get their 214 for them, and everything is based off of what benefit you are entitled based upon your discharge from the service.
Wow. And then I understand that the VMC has played a large role in the nation's effort to end veterans' homelessness. Can you give us, what you guys are doing in terms of resource or outreach?
Well, I'll tell you, that's a big coalition that worked for several years, started in 2013. We've housed over 2,200 veterans in the last several years, and it was a coalition between the federal government, and it was backed by President and Mrs. Obama, to coalition to end veterans homelessness. The federal government, the state government, the municipal government, and multiple nonprofits here in town. We cooperated with and we're in a coalition with Project Home, with Impact Services, and to house those veterans. So, and we have effectively ended veterans homelessness in Philadelphia and in some couple of counties in the states, Delaware County and the state of Delaware. I mean, we're kind of regional now. We started out here on 4th Street, but we have 11 facilities in 29 different counties in 3 states now. So outreach is key to us. Really, what we need to, if people know veterans, and especially if they're in need, then send them to us. That's something we have trouble with, is reaching veterans sometimes.
Okay. Yeah. So then my listening audience and then also my viewing audience, if you know of a veteran out there that needs some type of assistance and resources, you can always start right here at the Veterans Multi-Center. Tim, you and I met a few years back for the Veterans Radiothon with our good friend John DeBella from WMGK. Shout out to WMGK.
Absolutely.
And John DeBella is somebody that is centered in the community, and he brought us together.
He did.
Because, I was fortunate enough to be able to support at least make a donation.
Absolutely, and we thank you for that, man.
Right.
For several years now.
Yeah, and it's my pleasure. My father was a veteran. I have family members that are veterans. I have friends that are veterans. I have friends that went through the ROTC program, at Virginia State. And so, I, just in talking to veterans, I don't realize a lot. I guess if you put yourself in a veteran's shoes, like you said, you were in the military for, let's say, 30 years or more.
Or more. Yeah.
And then you retire, and then a lot of people are not really fully retiring. What do you do next? And then sometimes when you've been a part of active duty with a war or, in some type of, zero tolerance field, you have seen some things that the average person has not. And making that transition, sometimes you need a little help.
It's tough. I mean, it can be a tough transition. Some folks handle it with ease. Some folks, need a little help, a hand up. I felt my own transition was significant. I mean, emotionally, it was significant. I was looking for a sense of purpose. I felt isolated, and lack of a sense of purpose and isolation are two key things that veterans need to confront when they transition from the military.
You're speaking from experience.
I am. Believe me, it was and I'll tell you, I have real empathy for folks trying to transition. I mean, I spent 30 years in. I got 3 master's degrees, and it was tough for me. I mean, it really was tough for me with lack of structure, not the ambiguous background, not realizing what was going to happen every day. That was really tough, and I really feel for some of these kids that are coming out after 1 enlistment or 2 enlistments, and maybe not having the experience that I had. It's tough. We need to help them.
So what can be done? What more can be done for veterans, in your opinion?
Well, I think I tell you, the VA is fully funded. The VA has been making some pretty tremendous strides in recent years about serving veterans. There's still room for improvement.
Okay.
But the best thing to do for veterans is talk to them and ask them about their story and help reduce that sense of isolation and help them find a new purpose in life.
How can people get involved?
Well, with donations, well, we're always looking for unrestricted funding to help us pilot new programs that we can try to figure out if they're successful or not, and then mainstream those hopefully into the VA. Volunteering is very important, and just again, noticing veterans in the community and helping make sure that they understand that there are resources available for them. We always say that, as I said before, that we match a resource with a need with a resource, whether we provide that resource or not. We have many partners in the community, and that's networking resources is key.
And so, as we, the Did You Know show is centered around connecting people to home, community, and business resources that they ordinarily wouldn't know about. Today on the show, we're obviously talking to Tim Williams. You're the executive director of this facility. We're going to be talking to some of your team members, Jackie Rise and Luz Rivera, Justin Carrington.
Oh, they do great work, man.
And they're going to walk us through some of the programs that are really more centered to the immediate needs, to the housing needs, and to the RAP needs of veterans. I want to thank you, for your service, and you're a class act. Every time I talk to you, and I've talked to you several times, on the front of either fundraising or building knowledge, I always learn something different about you. I really do, and you are right. It is not easy for a lot of people to make that transition from military to civilian.
It's not.
It is, and I recognizably, as I get closer to the Veterans Multi-Center, I kind of feel that I can help in some ways. All right, so we're going to come back. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back, and we're going to continue our conversation with Jackie Rise, is the Perimeter Program Control Coordinator, and she's going to discuss more about the immediate needs. All right?
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me here.
Listen here. Did you know?
Always Best Care specializes in helping seniors who wish to remain in their home but need assistance. Our flexible care programs vary from hourly to live-in. Simply put, we're there when you need us. And Always Best Care is a DPW-approved Medicaid provider. Call today and we'll meet with you to develop a personalized care plan. Always Best Care Senior Services. Doing more, caring more, and dedicated to exceeding your expectations. Always.
Did you know?
Welcome Welcome back to the Did You Know Show. My name is Brian Green. Sitting with me now we have Jackie Reese, who's a Perimeter Program Coordinator. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I'm really appreciative. We're at the Veterans Multi-Center down in Philadelphia, 213 North 4th Street in Old City, Philadelphia. And you are the Perimeter Program Coordinator. What does that mean?
So the Perimeter is a daytime drop-in center for homeless and at-risk veterans. So during the day, they can come here and get access to basic needs. They can take showers, do their laundry. They have access to toiletries and new clothing. We also serve breakfast and lunch 5 days a week, and we also have a small food pantry. So we just kind of take care of someone's immediate needs when they first come in, and then hook them up with any kind of services they might be in need of.
So as a drop-in center, then do they come in and at any particular time? I guess your guys' hours of operation are?
They're 8 to 4.
Okay.
So we actually have van transportation, so we pick people up. We pick them up from shelters around the city in Camden, New Jersey. We also pick up from the VA Medical Center, and we bring them in here for the day, and then we take them home in the afternoon.
So what time is meals served?
Breakfast is at 9 and lunch is at 12.
Okay, and then, you know, are you doing any type of outreach in terms of, you mentioned homelessness, and they have access to toiletries. So what can they get, like, you know, the basic shaving kits?
Yeah, shaving kits, toothbrush, soap, anything they need to take a shower, towels, shower shoes. They can get access to clothing, socks, underwear, t-shirts, anything that they need in order to continue their day. And then they can meet with case managers while they're here. The floor is set up that on the actual perimeter of the floor, there are housing case managers. So while they're here, they get their shower, they get something to eat, then they can meet with someone about housing or, you know, about benefits, anything like that.
So a typical day, Monday through Friday, because you guys are closed, is my understanding, on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
How many people, what's the foot traffic like?
It's anywhere between 60 to 100 veterans per day are the meals that we serve. It really depends on the time of the month or the holidays. When it's colder, a lot of people tend to come in.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So I would imagine around like Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's, which are the cold holidays, you see an influx, more people, more and more.
Yeah, we're very busy during the holidays, yeah.
Now, do you work with any other, you mentioned 3 entities. You mentioned an entity in Camden, you mentioned a VA, and you said you have a van service that goes around to different shelters. Are there any kind of maybe social workers that you work with, or specialized services, or entities that connect you to the vet specifically?
Yeah, so around the city, we have a coordinated outreach effort. We actually learned from the City of Philadelphia's outreach team.
Okay.
And we get a lot of response calls about veterans who are homeless from people in the community or other shelters or other case managers around the city. They'll call and say, hey, we have someone who reported that they're a veteran. Do you think you can help them out? So we'll either bring them in or we'll talk to them over the phone, see if they qualify for services, and then hook them up with veteran-specific services.
Wow, so we're down here again at 213, I keep saying that, it's at the bottom of your screen, but 213 North 4th Street in Philadelphia. I'm willing to bet that a lot of people didn't know the service existed. Even though, you know, sometimes good news travels like electricity, sometimes people have to hear it. So then I guess my other question is, when you determine somebody's at risk, we've talked a lot about veterans, but I'm willing to bet that some veterans are out there with their spouse or maybe in some cases children. Mm-hmm. How does that work?
So we do have a program called Supportive Services for Veterans and Families. It's one of the first programs that serves both the veteran and their family.
Okay.
The veteran does have to be the head of household, but we won't turn anyone away. So if a veteran comes in with their family, we'll meet with them and see what kind of services. Even if the family needs to get, you know, a non-veteran specific service, we'll try to connect them. We also have a women veteran center,
Okay.
And they cater more towards, you know, children. They have a spot over there for children. So we're not going to turn anyone away, and we will try and get services for the whole household.
And at risk, what is at-risk vets, how is that determined?
So imminently at risk for being homeless, they could be being evicted, or they could be recently housed but still in need of supportive services. So someone might move into housing and they have this stable living situation, but they maybe they're low income or underemployed, and they still need access to food, or they need access to laundry services, or, you know, they just need that camaraderie. That's what the perimeter is for. They can come in, not feel isolated at home, and maybe get some laundry done. which they couldn't afford while they're paying their rent and their utilities and everything like that. So.
If you just tuned in, my name is Brian Green, and I'm the host of the Did You Know Show, and today we have landed at the Veterans Multi-Center down in Philadelphia. I'm sitting here talking with the lovely Jackie Reese, who's the Perimeter Program Controller, and she runs the drop-in center. Did I get that correct? Mm-hmm. And then, you know, you deal with, most of the time, homeless vets, at-risk vets, but you have a coordinated outreach kind of algorithm that you work through. What is that all about?
So the outreach teams, we have drivers that either go to local spots on the streets that have a high population of homeless people to kind of do some building rapport, asking if someone's a veteran, you know, do they need to come in for services, handing out water bottles, blankets, whatever it is. And then they also respond to response calls. So if someone in the community says, hey, 6th and Callow Hill, there's a guy with a sign that says homeless vet, can you go check it out? We'll go check it out. Or if someone from a shelter calls and says, hey, we're doing an intake, this person reports being a veteran, we'll go out and make sure they get connected to veteran services as well.
So what's the intake like? What is it? Walk me through the intake. I guess you gather demographics. Is it like a registration process? Do you stay in touch with them? How does that work? I don't know.
So each program really has their own intake process, but for the center itself, someone comes in, reports that they're a veteran, maybe they're in need of housing services, we'll get their basic demographic information on our first floor, and then they'll be sent to whichever program they identify as a need for them. So if it's housing, usually it's to the 3rd floor. If it's benefits, they'll see a certified veteran service officer. If it's employment and training, they'll be referred to our 4th floor for employment and training. So various programs, but they're directed from our intake desk.
If I heard you correctly, you say you have programs for men as well as women veterans.
Yes.
And I'm assuming, and I'm going to ask though, what if a veteran has a record? What if they have a misdemeanor or a felony record? Does that inhibit any of the services?
It doesn't inhibit services here, no. We actually have a program called the Incarcerated Veterans Transition Program, which is specifically geared towards veterans who've been incarcerated within the past 6 months. And that's in order to help them get employment. But it doesn't restrict them from receiving housing services or any services here in the building. That's not one of the eligibility criteria.
So, Ms. Jackie Reese, you're the Perimeter Program Coordinator. Thank you so much for answering a lot of questions. Is there anything else you want to tell the viewing audience in terms about the VMC? Anything we missed?
Just don't be shy about sending a veteran here. If you know a veteran that's in need of services, please send them our way or give us a call. We're not going to turn anyone away. If we can't help them here, we'll try and get them connected to a service that can help them.
And that's between 8:30 and 4 or 8 and 4?
8 and 4.
8 and 4, Monday through Friday.
Yes.
At 213 North 4th Street in Philadelphia, Old City. And then you also have, as I heard before, you and Tim both have said it differently, you do go over to Camden.
Yes.
Now, how does that work exactly?
So we pick up at 2 facilities in Camden. One is called Home for the Brave. It's a transitional housing program. And another one, the VA has a community-based outpatient clinic. It's called a CBOC. So there are identified pickup locations, and word of mouth, veterans know that we'll come by there at a certain time in the morning and then drop people off in the afternoon.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
All right, stay tuned. Coming up next, we have Luz Rivera and Justin Carrington, who are case program managers for the VMC. We're going to continue our conversation. Don't go away.
Listen here. Did you know?
Always Best Care specializes in helping seniors who wish to remain in their home but need assistance. Our flexible care programs vary from hourly to live-in. Simply put, we're there when you need us. And Always Best Care is a DPW-approved Medicaid provider. Call today and we'll meet with you to develop a personalized care plan. Always Best Care Senior Services. Doing more, caring more, and dedicated to exceeding your expectations. Always.
Did you know?
Welcome back to the Did You Know Show. I am sitting here with Mr. Jack O'Neill, VMC board member, volunteer. He's a vet. Mr. O'Neill,
Yes.
Could you please tell us about your veteran experience?
Well, I was in the Army for close to 3 years.
Okay.
Went to Fort Bragg for
Okay.
a couple months. There I went to Fort Sill for artillery surveying.
Okay.
From there I went to 6 months to the day I went to Vietnam.
Oh, wow.
Spent 3 tours in Vietnam. came home. I got out of the military after 3 tours, and went in the Roofers Union.
Okay.
Got hurt after 20 years,
Okay.
and so I was good friends with the gentleman who started, Ed Lowry, started the organization.
Okay.
So I just started coming down.
To the VMC.
Yes.
So that's your relationship with the VMC. You were good friends with Larry.
Ed Lowry.
Ed Lowry. Okay. And then you got it. So then, tell us what you do you're a volunteer here. What do you do here?
Well, I actually shred all the documents that come through.
Okay.
I mean, we have stuff here for 20, 30 years.
Okay.
So I've taken care of a lot of that. I used to sit at the front desk when they need somebody, whatever they need.
Whatever they need.
So.
And then you're on the board.
I've been on the board for probably 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah, much longer than I should be. I've been the vice president, a little bit president, you know.
So in your opinion, you know, and this is vet, you're a vet, and you're speaking to people that could potentially be somebody that could reap the benefits of the services of the multi veteran center. What would you say to a vet or a vet's family that's watching this show? What would you tell them?
I would say please come down here and see what we have to offer them.
Okay.
Because it's like the best kept secret. A lot of people just don't know what's going on here. And I mean, I love this place. I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Why? I think I know why, but tell everybody why.
I absolutely love it because, first of all, everything here is free.
Okay.
We don't charge anybody for anything. We bring these homeless veterans in off the street, and I mean, we give them 2 meals a day. We have showers. We put them in homes. We have, we have a computer. Well, I don't know if it's a computer course. The government took our funding off for that computer course.
Okay.
So, but it's available. I mean, we have computers upstairs. I mean, I was walking out yesterday, and there was a young vet came in, a young woman. So she said, I want to use the computers. Well, they can go upstairs and use the computers.
Okay.
So it's just, you know, we give people jobs. We have a thrift store. You know, it's just, when somebody moves into a house, we'll take the stuff from the thrift store and give it to them so that they have utensils in the house. And we have furniture for them. You know, we give them a bed, you know. It's just, I mean, just to see people have nothing move into a house, you know, it's, I mean, you can't ask more than that. It's,
wow. And so we're sitting in the room. What is this room called?
This is the Gold Star Mother's Room.
The Gold Star Mother's Room, and we got this nice picture behind us, you know, and all that kind of thing. So when you come here, you know, are you here Monday through Friday yourself, or you just a couple of days?
Not every day. My wife works at St. Joe's Prep.
Okay.
So I drive her down there in the morning. I live in Horsham.
Okay.
I actually coached the soccer team there.
Okay.
St. Joe's Prep for the last 30 years. And I usually come over, I go to Mass in the morning there, come over here, and spend the day here till I either go to soccer practice or I go to pick her up from work.
And so when you see veterans coming here, you know, what's the exchange? You guys have group? Do you participate in any groups in terms of sharing or, you know, support groups or anything like that? Do you share?
Not a lot.
Not a lot. Okay.
Not a lot. So, you know, we've had problems with our roof. So we had a roofer in here and he never came back.
Okay.
So
it's not always a success story, but generally speaking, what the feel that I do when I walk through here, everybody is engaged, everybody's friendly, everybody seems to know what's going on. Everybody, you know, and you guys have an atmosphere that you really want to help. You yourself, you know, you seem like a really warm, gentle man, you know, and you're easy to talk to. Because I know just, you know, walking through the halls, I had a chance to talk to you.
Yeah.
But, you know, again, you know, when you talk to the veterans out there, you know, it's really easy to disconnect. And sometimes it's hard to reconnect. Okay, so we're sitting here. If you just tuned in, we're sitting here. We're having a nice conversation with Mr. Jack O'Neill. You know, he is a vet himself, and he's a board member down here at the Veterans Multi-Center. He's a volunteer. He volunteers a couple of days a week. Soccer coach. Your wife is an educator. And you live in the first town that I worked in out of college in Horsham, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I work right by the naval base.
Yeah, that's where I live.
I'm right on that golf course over there. And so I have warm memories of Horsham and 463, that Horsham Road.
Yes.
And you sit down here and you connect, you help people, you know, with the thrift store and that kind of a deal. You know, for people that are disabled, Have you found it an asset to get the Veterans Multi-Center involved for people that are trying to access their benefits through the VA?
We do. We have two service officers downstairs,
Okay.
and they're both great guys.
And what do they do?
Both veterans.
Very veterans. And what do? They kind of connect people to the VA.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
For free.
For free, for benefits. They're not on television asking for money,
Right.
like we do see.
Right.
And they're great guys, easy to talk to, you know, and they're there to help. You know, they're not just there to sit there and listen. They're there to help people.
They're here to activate.
Yes.
You know, so if you could give anybody advice that's watching this right now from a veteran's perspective, and I've said it to Tim and to Jackie, and I'm saying it to now Jack O'Neill, you know, if you could, you know, because this show really is about outreach.
Okay.
The Did You Know show is centered around connecting people to home, community, and business resources that you ordinarily wouldn't know about. You said something I want to focus on that while it's here at 213 North 4th Street, a lot of people don't know this place exists.
Right.
Could you tell the listening audience, the viewing audience, really, again, what would you say to them if they're listening?
I would say just please come down. This is for them. This place is for them.
Free?
Yeah, free.
Free.
Not a penny.
Mr.
Never
Jack,
asked you for anything.
thank you so much for volunteering.
Okay.
Thank you for your service. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
All right. Stay tuned. We're going to continue our conversation.
Did you know?
Always Best Care specializes in helping seniors who wish to remain in their home but need assistance. Our flexible care programs vary from hourly to live-in. Simply put, we're there when you need us. And Always Best Care is a DPW-approved Medicaid provider. Call today and we'll meet with you to develop a personalized care plan. Always Best Care Senior Services. Doing more, caring more, and dedicated to exceeding your expectations. Always.
Did you know?
Welcome back to the Did You Know Show. We continue our conversation with Luz Rivera and then Jordan Ross, both team members here at the Veterans Multi-Center. Good afternoon. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
All right. So, Jordan, let's start with you. How long have you been with the VMC?
Well, originally I came here a year and a half ago as a client. I was interested in some education and employment services. So I found the VMC just by looking on the website, veterans organizations. And so I came in and I enrolled for it, and I did the A+ computer repair class on the 4th floor. And after that, they had paid for me to go to Temple and take the courses, and I got A+ certified in computer repair. And then shortly thereafter, we had a pilot program here not too long after that. And I worked out of this building, but obviously I was a subcontractor. And so then for a while after that, I worked with that company until program just didn't ultimately work out. And so I've been here since August, and I was unemployed in June. And since August, I've been working here at the front desk as security.
Okay. And so you are a veteran?
Yes.
A Marine vet?
Yes.
How long were you in active duty?
From 2007 to 2011.
Wow. Wow. And so then what was your specialty?
I was a combat engineer.
Wow. Okay. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Luz Rivera. So as my understanding, you're the program manager and you deal with housing.
Yes.
How long have you been here at the VMC?
Very short. I started working here in May
Okay.
of 2018. Loved the job. I originally was working at Family Service Association, a shelter
Okay.
for families over at Bucks County in Levittown, and then I came over here because my heart is with the veterans. I enjoy working here. We service over 49 veterans that we housed
Okay.
long-term within our program. We have a supportive housing program.
Tell us about it.
Sure. Our programs are Shelter Plus Care and Supportive Housing Program that provides long-term housing for veterans that have been homeless and have a disability. These housing programs are scattered throughout Philadelphia, and we assist them with paying their rent. Most of them have income, so if they have income, they'll pay 30% of that income. If they don't have income, we won't turn them away. We will assist them with paying their full rent and assist them in getting services such as VA Service Connect or SSI, or maybe just general assistance to help them pay their rent. But in the term, the goal is to get them housed and to provide them supportive services so that they can maintain house.
I would imagine around the holidays and when the weather changes and it gets colder, you probably see more of an influx of folks. Is that right?
We do. We work closely with the city. Of course, we are funded through HUD and the
Okay.
city. They do a lot of referrals to us, as well as internal referrals from veterans that are living in the streets, probably under a bridge. We get a lot of veterans walking in because they were sleeping in a box outside under a bridge, or sometimes they're sleeping in the mausoleum, wherever they can find some place where they can be safe and warm. We do a lot of outreach, so we're able to go out into the community, and a lot of times the veterans are out there and they'll come to us and reach out and say, hey, I'm homeless, I'm a veteran, and we welcome everyone here. We turn no one away. A lot of times we will refer them to shelters if we don't have the services at that moment, so that they can have some place to sleep, some place to eat, some place where they can bathe. We also provide that internally here at the VMC.
So we're down here at the Veterans Multi-Center. It's 213-217 North 4th Street. I guess it's considered Old City, Philadelphia.
Yes.
We're right under the bridge, of the Ben Franklin Bridge that separates Philadelphia to New Jersey, because oftentimes when people think of New Jersey, they think it's connected to New York.
Yes.
They often don't realize that South Jersey is connected really from the water from Philadelphia. So you guys pretty much provide housing, but on a typical day, what do you see? I mean, because everybody that that comes in, is there some resistance? I gotta imagine in a perfect scenario, okay, we find you a place, we can connect. You pay 30% of your rent and that kind of thing. What happens to the people that don't? I guess I want to say that don't participate or cooperate. What do you do in that capacity? Would you connect them to any other resources? Do you try to stay connected with them? Because it's kind of hard to stay connected to somebody that's let's just say homeless.
Yes.
And I can imagine probably some people just want to come in and check it out and then leave for whatever the reason.
Yes.
So what do you do in those situations?
It's very difficult when you have a client that's been homeless for several years, especially since they're used to having no rules.
Right.
They're used to having no rules, and now all of a sudden you're being housed. You have to follow the lease. You have to follow the protocols of the agency. You have to follow the protocol of the funding program in order for you to maintain housed. And for them, many are resistant, but some of them do comply. And the goal for us is we are a housing first program, which means our approach is we house you first, and then we work on the other support services, because we know being housed is important in order for you to get those services. And so we take one step at a time. We work where they are. We try to meet them where they are. We don't push. We don't push, but we are the support. And we try to build that relationship with them so that they can feel comfortable and safe with us and able to talk to us about what is that boundary. What is it that's holding you back from moving forward? Because we know you can do it.
It's interesting as I'm sitting here and I'm listening to you, I'm thinking in my mind, when you're in the military, regardless of the branch, there's a lot of structure.
Yes.
And unfortunately, people have difficulty making a transition from active service to a civilian situation. And then if you're homeless for whatever that reason, whatever that season became, there is no structure. And then to try to bring them back into structure, I need people to understand that, the people that are watching that, it's not as easy as people think it is.
It isn't.
And then Jordan, as a vet, when people come in through the front door, I guess your interaction, you're kind of like the landing pad. You're kind of a part of, in a lot of ways, of intake, in a sense that, they make the initial face that they see is you. What would you tell veterans that are trying to access service? Now, you're obviously, somebody that's savvy with the computer. You said that you connected to the VMC through looking on the computer. But for those folks that are not as savvy or have those resources, what would you tell veterans?
Well, I would tell veterans, you mean ones that would come into the door?
Yes.
I don't understand.
Well, what would you tell veterans that are thinking about using VMC as a resource?
Oh, well, I would absolutely recommend it to them. This place has done absolute wonders for me. Forgot to mention earlier when you had asked me the question about the job that I had gotten after the computer repair course was made available to me by the VMC.
Okay.
And that was the 4th floor training and employment, and it was a very good job. And if it wasn't for the center, I wouldn't have had that. And obviously now I'm an employee, not a subcontractor. It's changed my life. The things that this center does for people on a daily basis, with not just housing, but little things like toiletries and meals. It's, you know, it's phenomenal. And this place is like a hidden gem. A lot of people don't know about it. So when I'm out there and I tell a couple of my buddies, which I've referred to here, you know, you got to get plugged into this place. They can help you with virtually anything.
Wow. And so for you, you know, if you don't mind sharing, how difficult was it making the transition back into being a civilian?
Well, I won't make a blanket statement. It's different for everybody. When you're so used to living a certain way with no breaks in between for 4, 8, 12, 16, almost up to 30 years in some cases, it depends on the individual. But I would say for myself, it was a little difficult in the beginning, but you know, I had to adapt, and sorry about that. I had to adapt and just make the best of what I had at the moment. And I think I did a pretty good job at doing so.
Okay. So back to you, Luce, you know, in terms of program manager, so your team does housing, but then how do you work with at-risk folks, individuals? And then you mentioned something earlier I want to go back to. You said that you worked at a shelter before,
Yes.
Family Services Shelter in Bucks County, but you know, you said veterans is your passion, is your love.
Yes.
Why?
Well, I have a lot of relatives that were in the U.S. Army.
Okay.
And so we did have a relative that did pass away while he was in the Army, in the military, not because he was at war, but because he fell ill.
Okay.
And so he did a lot to support the veterans while he was there, and so I wanted to pay it forward. And this is my heart. The veterans are my heart. They've worked very hard to protect our country
Yes,
and
they
us.
have.
So for me, it's just a privilege to be working here with all the veterans, no matter where they come from.
Okay. And so then I cut you off. I kind of snuck a question in there I wanted to get to. But when you deal with people from an outreach standpoint, are your team members out on a van patrolling the perimeter, whether it's Camden or Philadelphia? You mentioned that, you know, you go and look under the bridge. You know, like I'm assuming the Ben Franklin Bridge. You know,
All the bridges.
All
yes.
the bridges, right? All
Yes,
the bridges.
yes.
So tell us about that.
We're more case managers focused. For us, they're referred to us.
Okay.
And then once the clients are referred to us, they can either be referred through HUD-VASH, which provides PHA vouchers,
Okay.
which is Section 8. We do get a lot of those individuals that are in need. We also work with families through our rapid rehousing program, which provides them housing for the entire family as long as we have a veteran in the family. And the goal there also, once they're referred, is to find them an apartment that's suitable for them and their family and that they can maintain in that apartment. So the case managers that work in this particular program provide the support. They find the housing. They are the ones that pay the rent every month and remind the client, hey, you need to pay your portion of the rent. So they're more the reminder, they're more the hand-holding, and they're more, I'll go out there and advocate on your behalf.
Can you give us an idea of how many case managers you have here?
I have 3.
You have 3 case
Yes.
managers. But do you know the total population in terms of employees here?
I'm not quite sure of that.
I have to ask Tim that. I have to ask Tim. I think he
Yeah.
said 150
Yeah.
employees are here. And then you're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. And so, you know, you hired my main man, Jordan, here. Are you guys hiring now?
We are always hiring.
Okay, I think we need to talk about that.
Yes, and what's good about this in this agency is that the veterans get hired.
That's where I'm going.
The veterans get trained, and they're welcome to apply. And if we have an opening that fits their, you know, whatever they're interested in, we are willing to hire them because this is about the veterans and getting them better and getting them back on track.
And so you obviously, Jordan, gave a resounding kind of an endorsement to the VMC, you know, to people out there that, you know, you said your buddies or, you know, the other veterans that are listening. You know, in my mind, you know, you both have said it in different ways that this is a hidden gem. But in my mind, being from Philadelphia, it's not really that hidden from a location standpoint. We're down here at 213 North 4th Street, Philadelphia. You know, I don't know if you knew or not, but my connection to the VMC wall is because Tim and I have participated probably for the last 3 or 4 years with the John DeBello Radiothon for veterans. And, you know, my company, you know, we were humble enough to be able to participate and donate. and kind of just really watch what you guys do as inner workings. Part of what we do with home care is we provide care to people that need it, and a fraction of that are veterans. But a lot of times, it's been our experience, veterans have a hard time or challenge with connecting or reconnecting their services or support services through the VA. You guys work with that, right? You send them out to the VA hospital.
Yes.
You kind of guide them, if
Yes.
you will, to kind of like to get their services.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, with our program, the supportive housing program, if an individual is in need of mental health services,
Okay.
we physically take them to the VA center, the medical facility. We don't want to be mamas and we don't want to be papas, but some of them do need that extra support where you need to go with them and walk them through the system. So we do a lot of that type of services here because it's not just about housing, it's also about getting you better, making you well, and teaching you those tools so that you can find the resources you need in order to maintain house. And the Veteran Multi-Service Center, it's not just about housing, it's about providing you a meal, providing you clothing if that's what you need, and also you can relate to another veteran that's here.
Right.
So they can kind of get, stories from one another and reach out and say, hey, by the way, we have a supportive housing program here. I understand that you're homeless. Let me walk you over to Luz and see what we can do. And then that's when we can move forward with that, depending on where they are.
And one last question. Oftentimes, this is more and more you think of veterans as men and women. But traditionally, you think of a veteran sometimes as a man. But what you said, I want to get back to. There are some women out here, and more there are, increasing enrollment for women.
Yes.
And also in leadership roles in terms of veteran. But, when you talk about family services, can we get into that a little bit?
Yes.
Because honestly, when you think about a woman or a man with a child or a spouse, you help both, correct?
Yes.
How does that work?
We have the Rapid Rehousing Bridge program. That program is specifically geared towards families.
Okay.
Supportive housing is for individuals. Doesn't matter whether it's male or female as long as they're individual. But for rapid rehousing, if the man or the woman is a veteran, they can bring their family with them. So if you're a veteran and you have a husband and 2 kids, we will find housing for the whole entire family because we want to reunify them. We don't want to separate them. And so that's been working really well. That is a short-term program. It is a year program. However, our goal is to find them a subsidized housing that can keep them long-term.
Okay. Jordan, any last words to you? Not last words.
Hopefully not.
Any final words to the viewing audience? The veterans that are listening out there, I know you want to tell them to give us a call. The number is at the bottom of the screen. The website is at the bottom of the screen. We're right here at 213 North 4th Street. What do you, any last or any advice that you would give to veterans?
My only advice is if you can make it down here, please do. No matter what you think you need help with, more than most likely we can help you with it, and the work speaks for itself. I am a testament to that and for everything that the VMC has done for me and many other people as well. So, I think it speaks for itself.
All right, thank you. Stay tuned. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with Tim Williams, and we're going to wind down the show. Thank you. Stay tuned.
Did you know?
Always Best Care specializes in helping seniors who wish to remain in their home but need assistance. Our flexible care programs vary from hourly to live-in. Simply put, we're there when you need us. And Always Best Care is a DPW-approved Medicaid provider. Call today and we'll meet with you to develop a personalized care plan. Always Best Care Senior Services. Doing more, caring more, and dedicated to exceeding your expectations. Always.
Did you know?
Welcome back to the Did You Know Show. I'm sitting here with the lovely Debbie Derricks. She's the Director of Development for the Veterans Multi-Center. And we're sitting here in the Gold Star Mothers Room. Can you tell us a little bit about that whole concept?
Sure. So mothers of individuals who were casualties in war are Gold Star mothers, and they used to convene here in this room. So we have this beautiful mural. The individuals who used to meet here, their sons are portrayed in the center, and it has a lot of symbolism. The gods of war on each end, 2 individuals playing taps, which again commemorates those lives lost.
Wow, and so then you mentioned the Edison 64. What is that about?
Right. So Edison 64 is an old high school, and during the Vietnam War, they experienced the largest amount of casualties, 64 individuals who were lost in the Vietnam War. So now we are transforming that old high school into a 66-unit low-income housing facility.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is at 7th and Somerset. So it's going to be an amazing opportunity for us to commemorate or memorialize those lives that were lost while serving veterans who are in need now.
So tell us a little bit about your role, the Director of Development. What does that mean exactly?
It means a lot of things. Special Projects Manager. Mostly I do development, so that's fundraising, and communications overall. So I oversee both components, and yeah, I'm able to serve the mission by having resources in one capacity or another so that we can support our programming.
Right, so then you were part of the plan when Tim and I were doing with John DeBello for the Veterans Radiothon.
That's right. So John DeBella is a huge supporter. His wife as well, Lisa, actually sits on our board of directors. And it's an amazing event. It's one of our largest fundraisers of the year, and those dollars are pivotal. So we thank you for your support every single year. It makes our mission possible.
Now, you're not a veteran, but you want to give a shout out to your sister. Who
yes, my sister Paula has been in the Air Force for as long as I can remember. She's a few years older than me, and she enlisted at 17.
Oh, wow.
So she's pretty much going to be a lifer. She's right now based at McGuire. Okay. And yeah, she's worked really hard, and I can say that that's what's made the mission near and dear to me. I know what it's like for her to, have to come back and kind of figure out what's going on and look for a job, because she disconnected for a short period of time and then went back in. So yeah, I know that sometimes the transition's not easy or equal for everyone.
So if you look at the bottom of the screen, you'll see the phone number to the Veterans Multi-Center, and you'll also see the website. Debbie, tell us how we can put the outreach out there to fundraise. Is it just as simple as going to the website? Or?
You can go to the website, vmcenter.org. You can just click donate, make a donation. You can actually make a donation in commemorating or memorializing someone or honoring a veteran, which is a great way to, again, show your support for individuals who have chosen to serve our nation. You can also get involved by volunteering, so there's an option there as well on the website. We do a lot of corporate community projects, whether it's 75 people who are coming here to paint or help us maintain our facility, to an individual that just wants to come and help serve lunch on our perimeter floor.
Are you guys do you traditionally do anything over the holidays, for Thanksgiving or Christmas? Do you do any? I know I've talked to the other team members, and they obviously have a higher influx of veterans during those times. But from a fundraising standpoint, I know, because my company participates with Toys for Tots, which are ran by the Marines. Do you guys do any outreach? I mean, like we talked about money, obviously, but people can donate clothes.
Right. So we actually do have a wish list on our website, and that's really helpful. If someone wants to search the wish list, they can find items that we desperately need year-round, but more so during the holidays and the winter months, because you have to consider a lot of the veterans that we are working with are transitioning out of housing instability. So, a shower curtain, towels, basic necessities, they need them more now when they're coming in off of the streets during the winter months. Scarves, gloves, coats, a lot of drives. We accept materials from throughout the year, but mostly during the holiday season.
9 to, excuse me, I keep getting the time right. 8 to 4.
8 to 4.
Monday through Friday.
That's correct.
You're 213 North 4th Street down here in Philadelphia, Old City, right under the Ben Franklin Bridge. We're sitting here in the Gold Star Mother's Room. Thank you for coordinating this. You were the reason why we got in, and obviously I have a relationship with Tim, but you coordinated, the guests and that kind of thing. And I
so
really
happy to do it. You're welcome anytime.
Oh, thank you. and then to the viewing audience, Debbie and I have a connection outside of this in terms of our efforts to rescue animals. So we're both animal lovers and that kind of thing, and she's a really, really energetic person. So thank you again for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us down here at the Veterans Multi-Center. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to wind down the show.
Did you know?
Always Best Care specializes in helping seniors who wish to remain in their home, but need assistance. Our flexible care programs vary from hourly to live-in. Simply put, we're there when you need us. And Always Best Care is a DPW-approved Medicaid provider. Call today, and we'll meet with you to develop a personalized care plan. Always Best Care Senior Services. Doing more. Caring more. and dedicated to exceeding your expectations. Always.
Did you know?
Welcome back to the Did You Know Show. As we wind down the show in this episode, Tim, your staff has been amazing. The information for veterans out there, I hope you guys out there that are watching can take advantage of it. As we wind down the show, Tim, what is some of the parting message that you could really give veterans or veterans' families?
Well, I tell you, if you're in need, there's help available. You're not in this alone. That if you're a veteran, there are resources available to help you transition out of the military and to find success in life.
Okay, and so with regards to the outreach in terms of, again, we said it throughout the course of the show that people really don't need to bring anything but the knowledge of the DD-14?
214.
214, DD-214, and you said really don't need that, just come.
Yeah, just come. We can find their DD-214 for them, and we've provided people with access to identification. We help a lot of folks who have barriers and may not have something as simple as a picture ID.
And so we're right down here at 213-217 North 4th Street in Philadelphia, Old City, right under the Ben Franklin Bridge that separates Philadelphia and Jersey. The hours of operation are?
8:30 to 4:30, Monday through Friday.
And so you're closed on the weekend?
No, we are closed on the weekend.
But and one thing that we can talk a little bit about as we close the show is that you guys do a great service of reconnecting people to their veterans benefits.
Yes, we do.
And working with the Veterans Hospital and that kind of a deal.
Yes, we do. We actually have van runs from here out to the Philadelphia VA and the Camden community-based outreach clinic every 5 days a week. So we do that. We have 2 veteran service officers whose mission in life is to interface with the Veterans Pension and Compensation Branch, Veterans Affairs Pension and Compensation Branch for the veteran. They will help you file your claim. They will help shepherd you through the process.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you for letting us come and visit the Veterans Multi-Center in Philadelphia. I'm going to say good luck in the Army-Navy game.
Yeah,
for my
go Army.
Go Army. I'm not going to say anything. No shade to my friends in the Navy. I had to say balance. But thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all coming down here.
And I'll see you at the next Radiothon. Veterans.
Yeah, Radio in June.
In June, right?
Yep,
Take care. This is Brian Green. We're signing out from the digital episode at the Veterans Multi-Center. I want to take the time to remind the viewing audience that I am on the radio. You can catch me on WURDradio.com or channel 96.1 FM locally in Philadelphia, Jersey, and Delaware at 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Check me out where we continue our conversations with community, home, and business resources that you ordinarily wouldn't know about. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.
Did you know he'll help you understand? Did you know always a right-hand man? Did you know he's gonna make it clear? Did you know? Come on, listen here. Did you know?
Always Best Care specializes in helping seniors who wish to remain in their home but need assistance. Our flexible care programs vary from hourly to live-in. Simply put, we're there when you need us. And Always Best Care is a DPW-approved Medicaid provider. Call today and we'll meet with you to develop a personalized care plan. Always Best Care Senior Services. Doing more, caring more, and dedicated to exceeding your expectations. Always.
The name Always Best Care has become the most trusted and reliable for in-home senior services. Our caregivers specialize in bringing families and friends closer together and putting smiles in the faces of each and every one of our clients by creating a fun and loving atmosphere. For an in-home healthcare provider that is built on genuine compassion and quality care, look no further than Always Best Care. Hi, I'm Patty Jackson. When I needed help with providing my mother physical and emotional comfort in her time of need, Always Best Care was a godsend. And you can rest assured that they will always be there whenever you call because they care.
They're tried and true. You can trust that they will always take good care of you. Always Best Care.
To schedule an appointment, visit abcphillybristol.com or call 267-909-9248 today.